Hey, what's up, guys? So, a quick video. Got a project I'm going to show you how to do real quick. Before I get to that, I'm going to do an update. And yeah, if you like these videos I'm doing, if you would, please like and subscribe and comment on them. That'd be awesome. But I want to give you a real quick update. So, hey, look what finally came in. The Trotec TAC came in. So that means I'm finally going to install this NGK wire. I just want to do both of these at the same time. Looks pretty cool. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be, but yeah, it's fine. Anytime you guys do a plug wire or plug, I know if you've been to O'Reilly's or anywhere, they try to upsell you on this stuff, but hey, get some connector grease. If nothing else, when you go to change the plug next time, my God, does this make it way easier. It'll help the boot slipper off without tearing anything up. Anyway, side note, that video's coming up probably this weekend. Also, I got this. The company didn't send this to me. I actually ordered a few bulbs to test. I don't know who sent this to me or how they sent it to me, but cool, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to try it out because I looked it up on Amazon. This is just another budget bulb. The DZG's working fine. You do have to rewire to AC, guys, but I checked it out. It seems legit. It's got a decoder built into it. It's got a fan. The brightness on it seems like it should be pretty good. Color temp 6,000 Kelvin. Voltage range 12 to 24. I'm guessing that's between the low and the high beams probably. And the operating temperature is actually lower than the DZG. So it can work at a lower temperature than the DZG. I think the DZG was negative 10 Celsius. I don't know where you're going to run into negative 4. Wow, negative 40 Celsius on a Navi, but hey, each his own, I guess. Anyway, it's a sea light. I had actually ordered a sea light, but it was a different model, and I got that one, but I don't know if you're some fan that's got some kind of weird voodoo magic and you sent this to me. Appreciate it. I will definitely try it out and add it to the budget headlight roundup I'm doing. So, getting on to today's project. So, unfortunately, in the Quasi-Motard Discord, and I've actually seen a couple other places, people are getting their Navi stolen. I mean, it was just a matter of time until it happened. But I'm going to help you guys out a little bit with some security. So, one thing you definitely want to buy, and I don't know that, honestly guys, locks only stop honest thieves, but something's better than nothing. This is kind of a more budget option. I've got a couple different locks that I use for bikes. You ought to see the one that's on the Ninja 1100. Jesus, you'd need a laser cutter to get that thing apart. But the kryptonites, they're okay. They're not everything that people think they are. I'm gonna be honest with you, but they come with pretty decent chains in them. They're made pretty well. This is certainly better than nothing. I think this one on Amazon, if I remember right, was 30 bucks. Cool thing is, it packs down small enough to go under your seat and go with you. I'm using it in conjunction with something else for the Navi, and that's what I'm going to show you how to make today. I'm going to show you how to make an anchor chain. A real legit, sorry this chain's probably loud, legit anchor chain. Alright, so pretty simple, not very expensive. If you buy a chain with hooks on it on Amazon, I promise you, you're probably buying junk. You're better off, go down to Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, whatever you got near you. grab yourself, it doesn't have to be this brand, but make sure I'm still focused. It doesn't have to be this brand, but get a chromate chain. Get one that's at least 3/8. And the reason is this chain is going to be beyond difficult for a thief to cut. They're not going to cut it with a hacksaw. They're not going to cut it off with bolt cutters. They're going to have to bring some acetylene to the game, or they're going to have a grinder and a couple wheels to get through it. This is heavy stuff. This 3-foot Everbuilt, it's listed as an anti-theft security chain, which is pretty much what it is. At Home Depot, this is 30 bucks. Now, excuse me, 20 bucks. But I told you a fit. The whole project cost about 30 bucks. So, 20 bucks for this chain. Should be perfectly fine. I'm sure most chromate chains are made fairly equal. The other things you're going to need. You're going to need a 1/2-inch bolt. This one, I believe, is 3 inches long. The markings on it, if you go to Home Depot to find it, it's a CLR Tong F593C. So this is a hardened stainless steel bolt. This thing's tough. You're going to need one of those. Now, if you want to make a loop on both ends of your chain, like you're going to loop it around a 4x4 post or some kind of pillar, you're going to need double of everything to make 2 loops. So you'll need 2 bolts. If you're going to anchor it like I am to a wall anchor or anchor in some concrete in your garage, fortunately I have an open carport, so I definitely need to anchor it down. You're really only going to need one of these to make 1 loop, but you're also going to need whatever it is you're going to anchor it with. You follow? Alright, so you're also going to need 2 1/2-inch washers, larger size ones. These are ALB. These particular ones are galvanized. If you can grab and get stainless steel, get stainless steel. The thicker the better. This is what they had in stock. These will work just fine. To find out the size you need, whatever chain you get, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take one of the larger washers you're going to use, put it over the link. Make sure that it covers the link up. That's important. You're going to need 2 of those. Alright. You're going to need 2 smaller washers. Again, if you're going to Home Depot, these are AMC. These are stainless steel. You're going to need 2 of those. Now you can double up and get extra if you want, because there's going to be a little bit of extra room on this bolt with a 3/8 chain, but this is plenty. You're also going to need 2 nuts. Giggity. These are 1/2-inch stainless steel bolt or nuts. Excuse me. F594C. So that's if you're shopping at the Home Depot again. Just get bolt or nuts that'll match up with your bolt, but you need 2 for each bolt, and I'm going to show you why. Now, what's going to hold it all together and make it where, if you have a resourceful thief who decided to come with a 3/4 inch combination wrench, or actually a pair of them, this is what's going to stop the nut from coming off. Wire. Now, this happens to be high carbon stainless wire. This stuff's a lot harder to work with. You can bend it with your hand, but it's fairly difficult to get it to bend and keep shape. It has a lot of memory built into it, so it's going to want to spring back. If you decided to go with something this heavy, get yourself a torch. The butane ones work. You're just going to have to hold it on there a little while till it glows. Wear gloves. Wear thick gloves if you decide to heat metal, especially what's going to be pretty close to your hand. Don't burn yourselves. You can use safety wire, piano wire, pretty much any kind of wire. Even picture frame wire works. It's not great, but it does work. The reason I went with this is this is going to be incredibly hard for somebody to back off the bolt. I mean, incredibly hard. But I'm going to show you how all this works. So, you're also going to need some tools. you're going to need, if you decide to go with the 3/8 chain and a 1/2-inch bolt, you're going to need 2 3/4 combination wrenches. Side note, these are Blackhawk. These are made in the USA. They're actually owned by Proto. You don't know who Proto is? They're a sister company to Mac Tools. They mainly do industrial kind of tools. They've been around for a very long time, but Blackhawk is kind of one of the best kept secrets in the I'll say pro level tool world. I bought these when I was a diesel tech. Very fine tools for a lot less than you'd pay for Mac, Proto, Snap-on, or Maco. Usually about 2/3 the price. And they use the same metals and most of the time same patterns. Side note. Anyway, I'm going to need 2 3/4 inches. 3/4 inch combination wrenches. Sorry, I'm stumbling today. By the way, I'm getting over my chest cold, so yay. You're going to need a set of a pair of pliers. I'm using channel locks today. You can use whatever you got laying around. Just as long as it can grip on it, you can get a grip on the pliers, and you can twist the wire with it. And a pair of snips of some kind. These are Klein's. These have been kicking around a long time in my box. You don't have to buy Klein. If you're not so inclined, pun intended, to pay $40 for a pair of snips, channel locks, or go to your local scumbags like Harbor Freight and buy a pair for like $10. Work fine. Alright, so what you're going to do is take your chain. Now, if you don't want to use chromate, you can use logging chain. Just any kind of heavy, hard to cut chain is fine. And even with this, you're still going to have a weak point because I'm anchoring this down in my carport, and I'm going to be running the kryptonite lock through the loop I'm making. Obviously, the kryptonite chain is going to be the weak point, but nobody's getting rid of this. You could make a loop with this that works with a padlock. Just be mindful, this is very heavy chain, and this is very, very hard. Keep it away from any softer metals, any kind of paint, plastics. You don't want this to shift around and cause any damage to your bike. But you could, and you could wrap it up with something like some fabric or Kevlar or what have you. But at all intents and purposes, this is just an anchor chain. So here's what you're going to do. Take your bolt, take one of the smaller washers, slip it over, and take one of your big washers, slip that over. Alright, so you're going to take the end of your chain, flip it over the bolt, just like that. Now, measure out the loop size you're going to need. Right, so if you're going to wrap it around a post of some sort, like a 4x4, you're probably going to want longer than 3 foot, or you're going to have to park your bike incredibly close to it. 3 foot works for my situation. I would suggest if you're wrapping around a post or a pillar or something like that, maybe get a 4 or 5 foot chain. Just give yourself a little bit of wiggle room to get the bike in and out. So you're going to take it. I'm just going to pick a loop at random. It doesn't matter for demonstration purposes. You're going to take the bolt, pull it through like that. Now see, you got a nice loop going. You can slip a chain lock through this or a cable lock through this, and this is going to tie down extremely secure to, like I said, a post, an anchor, something like that. So once you have the bolt, slip through the end, slip through another link, so you got a loop. You're going to take another big washer, flip it over. It's not going to sit flush this time because you got these links popping up. But that's okay. We're going to wrench it down pretty hard. Take your small washer, slip it over top of that, and here comes the trick. So you're going to take your nuts, run them up. I've done that before if you can't tell. Run that one up snug as you can get it. I'm not going to make a permanent loop, so I'm just going to keep everything a little bit loose, but if you were making this to make it permanent, you're going to take your wrenches, get on this side with them, and turn this thing down like it owes you money. I mean, whip it, kill it. Now, this is the one time I'm going to tell you, wrench something down as hard as you possibly can. Alright, you're going to take that nut. Now, if you want to put a little Loctite on the threads, more the better, but you're really going to have an extremely hard time if you ever have to take it apart, because we're going to wrench this down pretty tight. We're going to run wire around it. Loctite's not necessary, but hey, if you want to, you can. So normally, if you're running a second nut over it, some people call it a safety nut. I bragged on myself. There we go. And what the second nut would, the normal purpose of it is to keep the first one from backing off, right? So in a high stress, high risk situation that you really need this to stay together, this nut would keep this nut from backing off, which is a good thing. But what we're using it for is we've already cinched this one down. Well, now we're going to wrench this one down as hard as we possibly can. If you got an impact, knock yourself out, but be careful with stainless and impacts. Sometimes it's not a good mix. But we're going to wrench that sucker down as high as we possibly can using our combination wrenches. So they're going to basically work against each other like a set of levers. Excuse me. Last step, we're going to take our wire, whatever wire you got. Like I said, if you're using the high carbon stuff, you're going to have to heat this stuff up until it's about, it's going to glow red, and you're going to have to work very quickly. But the idea, and I'll just show you on the finished product, is to wrap that wire around the threads. The thicker the wire, the less you're going to be able to do it, and the harder the next part will be, so bear that in mind. You're going to wrap it around that thread. So, and see if we can get it to, it's not going to focus quite right, but wrap it around, and you're going to bring them together, cross them over, and start twisting them. And you're going to twist them close to the bolt, not far away. You basically twist in this like a bread tie, like you're trying to seal up the bread, right? You're probably going to need a pair of pliers to grab a hold of it. Start twisting it as tight as you can. Now don't go absolutely ape over it, because you might snap the wire off and then it didn't even no good and you got to start over. So twist this over to threads, tight as you can get it. Get about 6 or 7 real good tight twists where it almost looks like they're starting to blend into one piece of metal. That's how tight I want you to get it. Then you're going to snip it off. You're going to snip off a good portion of it, about, I'd say, 1/4 inch left here. Take a hammer, take your pliers, and just go over and squeeze the excess down over it. So this essentially is working as safety wire. And this is also something that would be done, say, some kind of application like a pull chain for between 2 very heavy vehicles, or I've seen guys rig stuff like this up for wrecking balls, obviously in bigger scale with different bolts and everything, but similar. But what this wire does is it locks into these threads, and believe it or not, this is going to be incredibly hard to get off. Now if you're doing picture frame wire, somebody with a little bit of patience could unravel it and wrap it off, then back this nut off, then back this nut off. But you got to think, the main thing with security is time. You've got to buy time for somebody to see them, time for you to catch them, time that camera gets to see their face that much longer and that much clearer. Most thieves don't want to stick around for a long time. They don't want to show up to steal your Navi or your lawnmower or whatever you're going to lock down with this chain and realize, hey, I don't have any way to cut this kryptonite. I certainly don't have any way to cut this chain. And they start looking at this and they're like, okay, well, I don't have a wrench. Maybe I could back it off. Well, nope, I can't. He's got wire on there. They're probably going to walk off. And honestly, if they see a chain like this, and this is the important thing, this big shiny chain dangling around, because it's probably going to be in the dark, there's going to be low light flickering off of it, they're probably going to walk the other way and ignore it, your bike, because they don't want to mess with that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Now, if you got a little dainty cable lock on your bike, bro, I hate to tell you, but you can get bolt cutters that you can slip in your pocket and pop those things with. Not every person in the world can, but anybody with some real hand strength can. I mean, I've cut through plenty of aircraft cable with hand snips. So, I mean, they're assisted snips, and it's not something everybody else has in the world. But either way, what you end up with a nice loop you can run your chain lock through. And if you decide to loop it both ways, you can wrap that sucker around a post. And this ain't going nowhere, brother. I mean, it is not. If you're so bold and so daring as to use this as your bike lock, I don't think it's very portable. It weighs a ton. And you wrap this around, and instead of a bolt on one end, you used yourself a heavy padlock. Well, yeah, they're not coming off of that either unless they're going to pick that padlock. Because this chain is going to hide the part of the lock most people are able to cut. So, hope this helps. I know it seems silly and simple, but yeah, maybe you didn't know how to do this, or maybe you did and you just didn't think about it and said, oh, look at there, SC Navi gave me a great idea. And like I said, you can buy these. You can buy anchor chains and logging chains and stuff like that, or pre-loop chains on Amazon or where have you. But I'll be honest with you, they're cheap. They're just cheap garbage. I mean, Amazon's a lovely thing for a lot of reasons, but there's just some stuff, man, you spend the money on. You buy once, you cry once. I'm going to ramble again, like these wrenches. I work professionally on stuff. These are about $20 to $30 each if you buy an independent or individually. I bought them as a set. Yeah, I can get a combination wrench for about $5 to $6. And I've got some of those. I've got some Husky and Cobalt and Craftsman, and not every tool has to be an expensive tool, but man, when you use something like this every day and you're counting on it, and it's just not this wrench, it's this chain, it's anything, buy the one you need the first time. Buy the one that you can hand down to your grandkids, because when you need it, and you don't need it to fail. Plus, in case of wrenches, you bust your knuckles a couple times, you'll buy better wrenches. So, anyway, like and subscribe, comment below, check out the giveaway, check out the merch store. I've got a Facebook group going. I think there's all like 5 members so far, but hey, the more the merrier. Just jump in, get a conversation started. But anyway, guys, more videos to come. Hope you liked it. Have a great night.